All right, my name is Sloan Brakeville. I'm the CEO of fr8Network. With me today is Barry Glasgow. He is our Director of Engineering. Over at fr8Network, we've been really hard at work defining a protocol for standards in the blockchain context of logistics. These standards help define how the global supply chain will share information about a shipment in a secure and compliant way. So the demo we're going to show you today is the first application we've built using this protocol, but a little bit of background and context on it. We were asked to go into San Francisco and work with a manufacturer who was having some challenges. Specifically, they had drivers that they hired that they weren't paying in enough time, right? So they kept having to factor invoices, which is very expensive. Customers were frequently calling their call centers, asking about updates for a shipment. Now, this takes a lot of valuable time, and it was very expensive to pay all these employees. There are even a few instances whereby drivers were delivering goods or claiming to deliver goods when customers didn't actually receive them. And so in this context, with all these challenges, we knew blockchain was actually a really good technology to help here. And so what we did was we developed an Ethereum smart contract. The smart contract would stand as a hack-proof permanent source of truth for the drivers, manufacturers, and the customers. So without further ado, let's dive in. What you see here is the checkout process, which we haven't changed at all. So a user's going to come in and using the same flow that they're used to, add stuff to their cart, check out, and then pay. When they schedule a delivery, that information is going to manifest itself in a purchase order directly on Salesforce. Now, we automated that process. So as soon as they hit checkout, it creates an order for them. Now, the delivery manager or the logistics manager for the manufacturer is going to come in, and they're going to have an opportunity to schedule this shipment now. So pressing this freight book and ship queues up a contract. And what we have is a Chrome extension. This Chrome extension is, if all goes according to plan, going to pop up with a prompt. This prompt asks for key information that's going to be plugged into the smart contract that's going to be used to manage the shipment between the carriers. Within this workflow, you can see a couple of different things happening. First, after they signed that transaction, you probably saw him enter the key really quick. That key gives us authorization to put freight tokens directly in escrow of that smart contract. And what freight tokens do is they create an opportunity for programmable money. And so this money is going to change hands only according to the contract that is defined in the blockchain. This contract was created directly as a result of an existing contract between their preferred carrier to deliver the furniture and the manufacturer who signed the original contract. Well, we haven't had an error before. The worst nightmare during a public demo, guys. The worst nightmare. Effectively, what's happening behind the scenes, though, is this smart contract is going to sit as that single source of truth, which is this intermediary layer that effectively communicates information to the customer, to the carrier, and back to the manufacturer when necessary. Are we going to go through it again? Cool. All right, so we're going to queue this up one more time. Now, smart contracts are very important, actually very useful in this context too. Information that frequently is going to be requested by a customer, like that call center that's heavily overloaded, is going to be able to be sent directly to a customer via an email or some kind of confirmation or notification. They can even have portals set up that are pulling the information from the smart contract that is similar to like your FedEx tracking screen. Again, this is all on a blockchain. This is a neutral third party that's managing all of this information. There's no one person that's in charge of this data. It's everybody's coordinated effort that's going to be pushing this information up there. Do we want to show them an example that's already running? OK. So we're going to switch over. At this point, the logistics manager is pretty much done. They've booked the carrier. The smart contract sits in the ethos, and it's waiting for information about the shipment to be sent to it. What we have here is a driver application. So this driver application running live is going to prompt the driver to insert very relevant transactions to that smart contract. For example, they've arrived at the warehouse, which is what we're pushing to the blockchain right now. This information is going to be sent back to Salesforce to keep that logistics manager up to date on what's happening behind the scenes too. So after they've arrived at the manufacturer's location, they're going to pick up those goods. Again, this is sending live to the Ethereum blockchain. And at the end of this, we're actually going to publish on Twitter, so you can take a look at the smart contract later. After they've arrived, go ahead and hit it again. it updates the Salesforce order, and then they're going to hit arrive at the destination. So when they arrive at the destination, this can send a email or notification or some kind of indication to the customer to come out and meet with that driver. It also serves a dual purpose too, right? So a clause in the contract between the manufacturer and the carrier says that if they're detained for too long, then they can levy a fee, right? So above a 2-hour window, they can charge for their time. And so this indication is going to be very important when proving that you're owed a fee. Here we have the code input. So the customer is given the opportunity to come in, and they've been given a code when they booked. And this code is very unique to them. And the only way that these tokens, right, these programmable money, is going to be released to the driver is if they get the correct code from the customer, which indicates they have accepted delivery. So now that that's done, and they've accepted the delivery, the freight tokens are going to be deposited directly into the carrier's account, which helps them with their cash flow, right? So those 30-day factoring invoices, things like that, can slowly go away. So effectively, that's the bulk of the demo, right? An end-to-end flow from checkout to the payment of the driver upon delivery. So what I want to do with the last 40 or so seconds is talk about why blockchain, which is a question I get all the time. As far as logistics use cases go, I think it's a perfect application of this technology. I've been working with blockchain for about 6 years. I was at IBM for a little while, and to me, supply chain is just perfect for it. Particularly in truck driving, right? So truckers are notorious for being annoyed by shippers and manufacturers asking for constant updates. They want to be autonomous. And then you have your shippers who might not trust the drivers that much. And so having this immutable source of truth that stands to coordinate all of these activities between the people, as well as directly deposit payment, is really valuable. I think that's it for our time. Thank you so much. Have a good day.